Hey up duck, we're here again doing a really important video. I get asked by so many people how to prep their acrylic brush. Now we have just launched an acrylic brush, so I've had this question asked a million times, it feels like. And it's difficult to sort of relay over text what to do. So we're going to do a video of how to prep your acrylic brush. So these are our brand new brushes. So they are named after my cats. Mr. Buttons.
Meakin's a cat.
Shut it. So we've got Mr. Buttons and we've got Oscar the Wild. Oscar is the bigger cat, so he's named after the bigger brush. So this one is a size 12. Now this is a brush I use all the time. I absolutely love it. It's perfectly pinched. And I'll go through why they're pinched once I've shown you the brushes. Okay, they've got a gorgeous design. They are light in weight as well, which will give you a light touch to your product rather than you bashing the hell out of it. So it'll give you a natural light touch. They're a gorgeous crushed velvet effect, which, I mean, it's just beautiful. Going from rose gold to what I want to call like a lilac-y gunmetal.
It's like
silver. Pewter, yeah. It's a beautiful colour.
Yeah, I know what colour that is.
They've all got a lid as well. It's really important that your brushes have a lid so you can stop them from being contaminated. You don't want dust getting on them. You don't want to just put them into a jar and the dust and everything else can sit on there. It's really important to have a lid on your brush. So they've got a lovely lid as well. So I'll show you the two different sizes before we prep. So this one is already prepped, which is my size 12. And then we've also got this size 10. So a lot of people who are new to nails will go for the size 10. It's great because it picks up a smaller bead. So you feel like you've got a little bit more confidence because you haven't got a big massive bead to control. Because you don't want to pick up a big massive bead and then be like, oh my God, I'm chasing this around everywhere. You could be, if you're new to nails, you could be still learning how to pick up a nice bead with the correct ratio. And if it's really wet and you've picked up a lot of product, then that you can run into trouble there. So this one is already prepped. So by that, it has already had the residue. So this one's hard, look. So it has like a starch residue on it.
All right.
So
is that for like transit?
For transit, to keep it into its perfect shape. So if you look at this one's not, and it will still spin back into a gorgeous point. Now this point can be used to do your little tiny beads. So if I pick up a bead, I'll show you, and that's due to the shape of the brush. So we want to talk about the fact that it's pinched as well. And a lot of people, we have this discussion when we do my Back to Basics course. I have a look at what everybody's brush is. Some people turn up with like an awful brush. Some people turn up with lovely brushes. Some people turn up with round brushes. And when I say round, the stock end of the brush is round, not pinched. So I want to tell you why it is much better to have a pinched brush rather than a flat brush. A pinched brush can be paddled out easily, and also you can use the full length of this brush when it's paddled out. Yeah? A round brush, you tend to only use the top third of the brush because that's the only part that will paddle out, because it is so round here, it forces the brush to not want to paddle out. Only the sort of top part will paddle out. So you can paddle the brush. So you can use this brush from the stock end all the way up to the tip. And what another thing is, it will make far more contact with the nail. So a nail is slightly rounded, isn't it? It's got a slight curve on it. So if we got a round object, so we've got a round object and we put it onto a flat surface.
There's only a small amount.
There's only a small amount.
Contact.
Yeah, and I'll just show you on the overhead.
Yeah.
So there's only a small amount of the brush making contact either with product or the nail, yeah? Now, if we squished this and made it pinched like a brush, it will make more contact with the surface.
Ooh.
So you get more surface contact, which makes it quicker and easier to move around your product.
So it's not only chemistry, it's physics as well.
Oh God, it's all of it, Doc.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was really rubbish at science at school. But not nail science. So yeah, we can shape that back into a nice point, and you should always do that when you have finished using your brush. But let's get into prepping your brand new brush. So I've got the Mr. Buttons brush here. So when you get it, you're going to have your lid on it, yes, and it's going to have this hard starch layer. So what you need to do is crack the layer between your fingers gently. So you're massaging it. Do not bash it on the table and start swiping it around. Just start to massage through the bristles of the brush. And can you see that little bit of white residue that you get on the brush? Now, a common mistake that people do is they'll just get that, they'll sort of play with it, take that off like that, and then they'll go straight into the liquid. If you do that, this residue is going to sit in your liquid and on the brush, and when you pick up a bead of acrylic, it will stick to the brush and you won't have a clean release. This needs to be removed, and the easy way to remove it is massage it through your fingers. And can you see that it's starting to come out? Gently do it, and then once you've done that, you want to gently flick it. Now, if you want a soft flicking motion, use your ring finger. Your ring finger is the most gentle finger on your hand.
Is it?
Yeah. It's really good for putting eye cream on as well. I like gentle. Gentle. You don't want it like take a tool. Don't take a tool and start like scraping away. You'll damage the natural hair. So this will take around 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. And it will still be at the stock as well, so you can tease that out. It is much easier and better for the brush to get it out dry. If you try to just keep using like acetone or acrylic liquid with it still in the brush, it will just want to stick to it. It's like trying to get wet sand off your body, you know. When you're dry, sand will fall off, won't it? Just quickly, the other thing that is really good is, do you know the brush that you can get in the Complete Pro collection of bits, or it comes with the debulk bit as well. This brush, if you support, you can brush through, because this is very stiff, and it will help just tease out those little particles as well.
Many unbearable hours later.
Okay, so you get out as much as you possibly can. It's worth taking time to do this, I promise you. Do not get frustrated and think, oh, for God's sakes, I'm just going to dunk it in the acrylic liquid, because you're just going to cause yourself problems.
Do you think some people like buy brushes and then don't realise that they should do this?
Yeah.
And then complain like there's something wrong with the brush?
Yeah. Definitely, that definitely will happen. Then what I'm going to do is I've got some acrylic liquid here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some acetone.
In the acrylic liquid?
In the acrylic liquid.
It's a concoction.
So it's roughly around half and half, yeah? So the acetone will take any other residue out and melt that out, and the monomer will nourish the brush and it will prevent it from drying out too much. When you are cleaning through, pull from the stock to the tip, do not force it forward, and you want to kind of spin it. So you spread the bristles, but then they can also form into the point. So we're going to clean this out now, and then we're going to put fresh acrylic liquid in. Like I say, if you don't clean it out like this, you're going to have problems picking up your bead.
Oh, because you've had acetone in it.
Yeah, and if you don't clean it out with all the residue, then you'll have a lot of trouble. Oh, it'll be trouble, it will. Take your brush, and this is what you want to check for. You want to check when you clean your brush in the actual pot by pressing and twisting, again dragging towards the tip. What you want to make sure is there any little bits of the white, of those little sort of, they were like a milky colour, weren't they? Is there any of that in there? If there still is, you need to clean it again. But if we look, there's none. And again, when you're going to store your brush, make sure you take off any excess liquid from the brush and the furrow end, which is the metal part, and then store the brush. And with this brush, you can store it this way down, which is pointing down. Okay. Just so anything draws out of the stock end of the brush.
Ah, right, so it doesn't go back into the bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
if you have a double-ended brush, you want to store it flat.
Okay.
Again, even with this brush, we can pick up different size beads. So we can go into the liquid, drag off a little bit of excess, and go quite low and go 1, 2, 3, and you can get quite a big bead there, even with the Mr. Buttons brush. We can get a medium size, slightly higher angle, 1, 2, 3. Clean the brush, always clean the brush before you go back into your bead.
How do you know your brush is clean when you do that?
So when you look at your brush, you want to make sure there's no sort of residue in it. You should be able to see that. Again, spin it back to your point. And again, I'll show you the picking up a small bead. So we drag off a little bit of excess. We go upright, 1, 2, 3. So that would be good for like doing around the cuticle area. Clean the brush. You can paddle the brush. You want to paddle it. So with this brush, which is Oscar the Wild, the bigger brush, you can get an even bigger bead. 1, 2, 3. Here we go again, actually. So that's a lot of product. Let me just clean that. And then we can get a medium. 1, 2, 3, which is a slightly higher angle. And again, we can get a small bead. 1, 2, 3, high angle. So you can pick up different size beads. The Oscar the Wild brush is slightly firmer because it's bigger, so it has more hair, so it's firmer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you like a firm touch, then Oscar the Wild brush is for you. If you want something a little bit more delicate, something that you can really control, then the Mr. Buttons brush is definitely the one for you. No matter what brush you have, make sure you prep it right. It's going to save you so much time because, yes, it'll be time consuming to do it. What's 5-10 minutes to clean that brush? If you don't clean that brush properly and you put it into your monomer and there are bits of the sealant in the monomer, it's going to pick up into the acrylic. It's all going to be mixed together and you will not get a clean release from your brush. It will just want to stick to your brush and you're just going to ruin your beautiful brush. So it's so important to make sure that you prep the brush because, you know, these are jewels in your hand. They are, if you have a rubbish brush, you will produce rubbish nails. It's that simple.
That's what my problem was then. I must have had a rubbish brush.
No, Adam, you were just rubbish at nails. You were panicking. That's what it was.
Somebody said they was stopped me the other day and they were like, I've seen you doing nails, and I was like, no, I just film nail stuff. And they were like, no. I was on your YouTube channel and I saw you trying to do nails. I was like, oh, sugar, I forgot they were on there still.
Yeah, there are new brushes. Enjoy. Some people, to be honest with you, have bought both because they want the small one and the big one. I think that the reason they would do that is because you can use the number 10 to pick up a perfect size bead to do infills. And they like a lighter touch for that. And then you've also got the bigger one, which is Mr. Buttons, which is Oscar the Wild. And yeah, you'll pick up a big massive bead if you're doing nice big long nails. Or you just want to do a one beader. I like to work with the Oscar the Wild.
Larger brush.
The larger brush. You will have your own personal favourite. If you're new to nails, definitely go with the Mr. Buttons, the smaller of the brush. So size 10 and a size 12. Aren't they just gorgeous? But make sure you prep them. And yeah, hopefully that's answered the question that's probably one of the most common questions that I've had since we've launched our brushes. I get it quite a lot anyway, but since we've launched the brushes, everybody wants to know. And I want you to know because I don't want you to mess up your brush, do I? I want you to have a nice, healthy, clean brush. Look after your brush because it will look after your nails and make everything easier for you. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Give us a thumbs up if you've made it to the end of this video. And I will see you in the next one.